Hello and welcome to a CRUBCAST. We don't know when we're going to put this one up, but it exists. I am Chris Meekness Fan. With me is Sean Wolf Chaos on. Sean?
Hi, that's me. Hi.
And I'm here with Moriarty as well. Hello, Moriarty.
Hello.
Today, we needed something evergreen, so we waited till 15 minutes before the episode started and picked a topic. And I was looking through our Patreon questions, and I was like, you know what? I think I have an opinion on this. So that's actually the basis for the topic today. From the one true blue, I always have a hard time dealing with backlogs when it comes to games and other media. How do you guys deal with your backlogs? I have a controversial take, but I want to let you two speak first. Whichever one
you
is
have a controversial take.
I have a controversial take.
I'm excited to hear that. I guess I'll kind of give the brief rundown of my own take on backlogs, which is not that exciting, which is that, I don't get through them.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I have this backlog of games, I have things, and I've started to try and be a little bit more, I don't know, I try to be selective about it. So, for example, my Steam backlog, which, is massive, I only look at the games that are installed, and as soon as I don't want to play that game, I uninstall. Right? And if I think I do want to play a game, then I install it. And if it ever gets uninstalled, it just disappears into the backlog, and it disappears forever. It's gone for forever, because I'm never going to go back through everything. You know? And I try to, actually play the thing, and I look at it and I go, am I ever going to play this game? No, then why, whatever. And I think about that when I purchase too, right? Like, I look at it and I go, okay, but will I actually play this? Will I actually install this? Will I actually sit down and play it? Or am I just doing this because I have some weird hoarder mentality? I'm trying to collect them all. And generally it works, but I would still say probably in the 30% of games I buy just end up with less than 5 hours of gameplay ever,
That's fair.
Which makes you think about the money you've spent, the wear and tear you've put on your hard drives and SSDs, wasting the time writing, right?
But also that kind of throws in, for me, for example, a lot of my backlog is just oh, hey, this game is now, it's usually $30, but today it's $2. Yeah, I'll buy it. And then it just sits there for years and years and years. And it hurts my heart to look at it sometimes, because I look through my Steam, all my Steam games, oh yeah, I bought that back in, when did I buy that? 2016. Oh.
It's decidedly not 2016 anymore. 9 years later, right?
Yeah.
Don't ever say, I didn't like that.
Yeah, it's 9 years
Take that
later.
back. All those words are wrong. They should be wrong.
The thing is that I do the same, right? I will end up buying a game because it's super, super cheap, or it's in a bundle or whatever. And I want to play it, but not sure when. And I really try hard now. I've been trying for a couple of years to really, really buckle down on that. And if I'm not actually going to play, because I will absolutely see myself with that negative 95% and be like, I mean, it's a great deal. I should just get it. Why shouldn't I get it? It's only $1.
Yeah,
right? And
exactly.
Sometimes I still do that. Admittedly, sometimes I'll still do that. But generally, I try not to do that. I try to do things where I look at it and go, I would play this today. I would play it today. In fact, if I buy it now, I'm going to play it today, which means I don't buy a lot of games.
Gosh, that's the way to go, though. Yeah.
That is smart, actually, yeah.
Another thing I think about also is just I have a data cap to deal with on my internet, right? So it's man, if I install this and then never actually play it, I've just wasted a 15th of my data cap for the month in one go, right? With how big games are getting. My controversial take.
Okay.
This won't apply to every single person who identifies with calling it a backlog, but I think people, by calling it a backlog and stressing out about it and constantly thinking about how to deal with it, are just stressing themselves out for no reason, and they should let go. They should just accept that they bought a lot of games and go, I'm just going to do whatever I want with them. No pressure. I'm not going to sit and go on the 30 backlog websites, organize them, make a list of what I most want to play, least want to play, in between.
Yeah.
Just look, go, I would play this right now, and don't think about the rest ever again.
Yeah,
and treat that every single time you come in. Doc Ock?
Yeah, Doc Ock does that in Spider-Man 2. Whenever he has the core, it's actually all his Steam games, and he's just still holding on to it. He's like, you know what? I need to let go.
I'm actually right there with you, Chris. I think that's a great thought, right? 100%.
I think people approach it in a fun, carefree way. I just want to say, I think people there are healthy approaches to it, and then there's some that just keep people in cycles of non-enjoyment and like self-guilting at a point, which you need a little if you bought a bunch of games. I get it, but for the most part,
it's okay to like sometimes look at yourself like, oh man, I wish I should have played that already. Anyway, and you move on. But if you're like staring at everything with like that analysis paralysis, and you're just like,
spending hours making lists and spreadsheets, and then never playing games
you
anyway.
Just play the game.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I really like. I'm sorry. That's one of the reasons I really like Game Pass, for example. Right, I feel no guilt at all about, bringing a game, trying it out, being like, I don't like this game, and just throwing it back out. I find that with those kind of experiences, I'm much more willing to try something and feel no guilt whatsoever that it's bad. Most recently, I tried a game called Overthrown, for example, and if I'd paid money for this game, I'd be so mad. I'd be so mad because it is an hour of gameplay. It's in like super early access or whatever, and it's like it's kind of like a builder, kind of like a city manager, kind of like a I don't know what to describe it as. It's kind of hack and slashy, but it's not really about combat. It's not really about building, whatever.
The cover art is a very explicit Breath of the Wild Link looking over a field.
But it's not that either. Like I would most closely say, imagine a 3D Stardew Valley with combat, right?
That actually sounds fun, though.
Sounds fine, right? So I got into it. I played it. It is an hour of content. Grand total 1 hour before you were at the point where coming soon starts showing up on everything because it's an early access, right?
Yeah.
And so if I had bought that, I'd be so mad. I'd be so angry. But I don't now. I feel like, I'm kind of excited for that now because I played it for an hour and thought it was cute and fine and whatever. And in 3 years, when that game comes out, maybe I'll try it again.
And it's just the same gameplay loop that you already played.
Yeah, like, but that's fine.
Yeah.
It's a small sort of not really experience. I don't care that I had and that it wasn't a great time. But if I'd paid $25 for it, I'd be very upset.
I can imagine, just based on the screenshots, it looks cute. But I think with any farming game, if I got an hour in and it said, all right, we'll see you at an unspecified amount of time from now, I would just feel bad about the whole thing entirely. Probably a week.
Imagine playing like Harvest Moon 64 and you're like finally getting into everything. Like, okay, all right. And
the
then
summer season's coming soon.
Summer season's coming soon.
Exactly.
You just played like a week. You play oh gosh, that would be awful.
That's how it felt, right? And it was like, everything's done now. I've done it all. What else can I do? I guess I could build more paths and like build a bigger wall.
Get ready for the content that might come.
Yeah. Woo.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that like with early access for me is like there's a lot of games that like I want to play. Like for example, Hades 2, that early access came out and people were playing it. And I was like, if I play this, I'm going to love it. I'm going to get to a point, not play it again for years, and just going to have to restart all over again.
Which is the worst. It's the worst. Yeah. It's such the worst. Baldur's Gate was that way for me because when Baldur's Gate originally, when it originally came out, it was early access, and I'd played it, and I had played it because my brother had, and we had a shared Steam account or whatever. So I didn't pay for it, but I still got in and played it, and I was playing the early access, and after about like 6 hours, I realized, right? I was like, wait a minute. There's stuff missing here, and I went on to the interwebs, and I was like, Baldur's Gate, when does it end? Right? And I was like, it comes up real soon.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, I don't want to do this now. And I lost total interest in it, and I ended up not playing it until, of course, it released, and I was very happy that I played it then. But it's the worst. It's the worst to have that kind of, I don't want to go off on early access creators because I understand why they do it, but also, boy,
sense.
What a terrible experience for me.
Yeah, it's like you just get blue balled.
Yeah.
When you typed "when does it end" into Google, did it come up with a little number for you to call? I was just wondering.
Wait, does it? I'm gonna look that up right now.
I bet if you type that in, it really does.
Yeah,
but with regards to backlogs specifically. These kind of early access games and these kind of experiences are just the worst, right? Like they're even worse because you feel like, I'm going to get 20% off by buying it early, right? But I'm not going to get to play it for 3 years.
Yeah. So would you consider that part of your backlog then?
Yeah, of course it is. But it's like an edged backlog, right? Like it's just sitting there waiting to come, and it just never does.
I have an extra layer of guilt too, because at the time of recording, at least, we just got through the holiday season, right? Which meant a lot of people gifted games and stuff. I got some, and I was looking at them, and I was like, man, I think I still have a game this person gave me like 2 years ago that I never even installed, let alone, like sit around and play it. And I'm like, man, that doesn't feel great. And then I opened Balatro and 25 hours of gaming passed, and I was like, I could have played the other games I got, but Balatro, man, that's a pretty good game.
But
I'm feeling guilty about the enjoyment I'm having over a different game, and I'm like, well, when does this end?
Yeah, gosh.
And I think that's kind of that's like how I kind of got on this kick of like, man, this is supposed to be fun. Why am I feeling guilty about it all the time?
Yeah, and that's a thing that like you brought up earlier, like, you just have to let go. And it's like, well, they bought me that game. They thought of me. It's a great gift. Awesome. Great. But I'm also having fun right now. I don't think they care that I'm not having fun with the game. They are like, oh, Chris is in a good mood.
I don't know. People don't like that. No, they're on my Steam profile like weekly. Like, oh, they didn't play the game I got them still, huh?
Have you played the game?
Week 108.
You haven't played Honey Pop yet, Chris.
I haven't played Honey Pop. I'll call out the one I'm thinking of specifically because they might be in chat. The Crazy even got me Return of the Obra Dinn, which seems like a fascinating game.
Super cool.
Good things about it.
I think I would like it. It's been like 2 years. I've not once looked at it.
It's a super cool game. You would maybe actually really enjoy that.
Probably. Yeah. So I just keep looking at it like, man, I'd probably really like that. Oh, well.
Yeah, but that's one of those games you have to be in the mood for, though, I think. And I think that also kind of goes with like backlogs. There's certain games that I have, like I have dating sims. I'm not going to play a dating sim like every single day. I have to be in the mood for it. Or like I'll look over and be like, oh, what?
Why not play a dating sim every single day, Sean?
Every single day. Balatro.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
They should have Balatro dating sim.
Don't give them an idea.
They probably will.
If you can date the Jimbo clown, I think that's okay. Otherwise, that would go bad. Hurt.
Actually, no. Jimbo would get it.
So the Steam replay this year, I don't know if you guys saw it, right? In the Steam replay, they talk about playtime. So not just dollars spent, because a lot of dollars get spent on new games, but actual playtime spent. And what was interesting was that of the total playtime on Steam in 2024, only 15% of that was new games.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
47% of the playtime was on games that are 1 to 7 years old, and 37% were on games 8 years or older. So almost half of all playtime is spent on games that are 8 years old, and the other half is spent on games that are 1 to 7 years old, and almost no time is spent on new games.
Skyrim, baby.
That seems healthy.
Right? Like people are playing the older and older games. They're playing CS2, which, is arguably CSGO, which is 10 years old. And people are playing League of Legends, and they're playing Dota, and they're playing Fortnite, right? Fortnite's like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old now, too. They're not playing the new game.
And Fortnite was what I even thought of. But I was like, that's on Epic, so that wouldn't even count for Steam numbers. Same topic applies, but I was like, man, what are people playing on Steam? But I guess all the ones you mentioned.
Yeah.
Skyrim.
Skyrim, Fallout.
And the thing is that something like a Balatro would be one of those 15%. So if you think about, how much time you've spent on Steam on Balatro, you're in that 15% of playtime that's being spent on newer games. Ooh. And that means that you're being canceled out by, 8 times as many people playing older games.
Yeah. And I'm one of them.
That's crazy.
I'm one of them.
It's really wild to me that people just are not interested in playing through their new games. And I don't know, maybe it's the backlogism, right? Where now, I'll go and I'll play these games because I finally got a chance.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a mix of comfort. Maybe it's a mix of the fact that they're all live service games now, right? You can't have just a regular old-fashioned single player game. No. Yeah. Can't do that.
And it's really hard to even break into the market with that sort of thing. I mean, we saw Halo Infinite's numbers kind of dip. I had to bring it up again. I know.
But Halo Infinite's never been better, Sean. I don't know if you've played it in the last 3 years, but it's gotten really good.
Nobody has.
No, but I played Marvel Rivals
the last 3 years.
I played Rivals, and that's kind of the closest you have to like a new game, even doing that. You know, like, oh, we broke in, but also it's Marvel. Of course, people are going to play it. You know.
You seem to be forgetting about Zenless Zone Zero, bro.
I'm gonna fight you.
It broke in, man. I'm playing daily. I don't know about you.
Are you still playing daily?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I don't know why. No, because here's the thing. I lost a lot of sleep over that game. Okay, and I stopped, and then you guys put me in the chat, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna keep playing Zoneless, whatever. And then I did it for a while, and then I stopped, and I got no more addicted. And then I played Balatro yesterday, and you put me in another chat where you guys are talking about Balatro, and you tagged me in it, and I'm already in there, and I hate.
Well, how'd you lose sleep over Zenless Zone Zero? That's what I want to know.
Because I do the same. I'm just like, I'll play I'll do one thing, and I lose track of time. It's like, oh, it's 10:30, and now, it's 4.
Oh, okay, literal sleep. I thought you spent $3,000 just in style.
No, I don't. You think I spend money on this stuff? No.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know what you do. Maybe.
I mean, I see all the tchotchkes behind you. I see that you're willing to do that.
Yeah.
I couldn't even rush to your defense on that one, Sean. It's like,
neither could I. I was like, well, you know what? I have nothing. I got nothing.
As far as backlogs, though.
Oh, yeah. Back to that. Back to talking about backlogs.
I think it is difficult, right? It's difficult to get through them, but it's also, I don't know. If you're going to play a game today, right? You're going to go play a game. You're going to log off from the CRUBCAST or webs, and you're going to go out there and you're going to be like, boy, I'm going to play me some video games. You're not going to load up a new game, are you? You're not going to do it. It's going to be 9 o'clock or whatever, and you're going to sit there and you're going to go, I'll just load up Balatro again, get through a couple hours of that. That seems fun. I enjoy that, right? You're not going to go say, oh, I'll try Return of the Obra Dinn, even though it could be cool, and even though I feel guilt, and even though... So I think maybe Chris's just let it go hippieism is the right way to go.
Hippieism.
Ooh. I like that. You know what?
Just meditate for 4 hours instead of playing the new games you could be playing is all I'm trying to say, bro.
You are wearing tie-dye.
Yeah, dude.
It's true.
Branded.
Yeah, and if you wear tie-dye, you become a hippie. It's just math.
It did. It seemed
for
to
just a second, I thought that was a Squid Game shirt, and I was going to be very happy that you were wearing a Squid Game shirt.
I still haven't seen a second of that show.
It's really good.
I think it's about something, right?
We can talk about shows too. Show backlogs, right?
Oh.
I have such a huge my list, right? Like when you go into Netflix, boy, that's scrolling for a few pages.
Gosh. The worst thing for me though is like whenever you're like watching a show on like say like for example like I started Jujutsu Kaisen on one thing and I'm like okay I go through it and then they stop on a specific season on say like Hulu. And then I'm like, okay, I want to watch the rest of it. Well, we don't know when it's going to come out, but the rest of it's over on this other channel. Other streaming service. I'm like, what the piss?
It's the worst.
And then it's like, well, you know what? I'll just wait instead of like buying a whole nother streaming service and blah, blah, blah. And yes, I know you can pirate it. Shut up. But it's like one of those like...
Sean, we would never say to do something legal on here.
Yeah, we don't encourage that.
I can't believe you just said that unprompted. I'm going to have to edit that out, actually.
Anyway, but... It's one of those, like, what do I do now? Do I wait for it to come out on this? Do I try to get the new thing? I don't know what to do. And then you feel guilty no matter what you do. So, yeah, I feel that. I still haven't watched Jujutsu Kaisen all the way through, and I'm very upset about it.
This inspired me to look at my Disney Plus watch list. It's the one I have. I think
watch X-Men 97.
That's probably
added
meant
to
be
your
on
backlog.
Here. Yeah, let me put that on my watch list. I put Turning Red on here because I heard that was good. And that's like a 2-hour experience tops. Still haven't watched it.
let's watch it together.
Turning Red.
Right?
Turning Red got a lot of flack, and I don't know why, because it's the most like mid-film of all mid-films ever, and like people on both sides. I think it's part of the politicization, polarization of media. That film is just the most film of films. I don't get it. Yeah, films are a little easier when it comes to the backlog stuff, though, because I know I can sit down and say, I'm going to watch a movie tonight. right? And therefore, I'm going to watch something for 60 minutes or 90 minutes or 2 hours. Either way, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to watch a movie. And I know that I can do that. And then I can go and I can scroll through and find something. And I'm not going to watch something I've already watched, right? Because I've already watched it. But video games, man, I've got probably 500 hours in Fortnite, maybe more, right? And like, it's the same thing every time, but I'll go back to it again and again and again. So maybe films are easier and shows, you know, as long as you're not stuck in, I don't know, season 1 of 19 seasons of something, which, you know, you can instead just watch a film for 2 hours and get it done. And
that's the only thing that's the only thing that's like daunting when it comes to like shows. It's like, oh yeah, I need to start this, and it's like, yeah, so there's like 48 episodes. Okay,
it's tough.
And it's like, but then also like I've been in the other shoes where I'm like, hey, this show's really good. How many episodes are there? Like 98? That's a lot, Sean. Why do you ask me to do that? Because I want you to enjoy things that I enjoy.
It is a lot, though. You know, and the thing is that something like let's say like Game of Thrones or you know, Sopranos or any of these kind of big premium type of TV shows where it's like, oh, you don't understand. Season 6 is so good. It's like, but you want me to get through 6 seasons to get there? Oh man, you've got to see season 3 of Game of Thrones. Let me tell you, the ending's really wild. I was like, so you want me to invest 30 hours?
It's the fastest
to
way
see
for my
if
brain to
maybe
turn
I
off.
like it.
Yeah.
Right?
My eyes would glaze over. Even if I'm like, I know I'll like it, just hearing like, hey man, get to season 3. I want you to talk about this one part with you. I'm like,
yeah, okay.
I'll nod my head and act like I will, but it's not going to happen.
No, it's really difficult. And I understand. Yeah. I get it. I understand wanting somebody to be a part of that too, but my guy.
Yeah, I've done that more than I like to admit. More than I probably even realized. Yeah,
I was trying to do that to someone. I was like, let's watch the Netflix Daredevil. I remember liking that. We'll do season 1. I just personally wanted to see Kingpin again, right, in the show, because I remember that being a good part of it. And we're just sitting there watching it, and each episode's an hour, and it's kind of slow. And I'm like, oh man.
You know, it's a good show that you should check out.
Good.
That I'm gonna add to your backlog is The Penguin.
The Penguin is really good, but also
I'm just throwing that at you. Sorry, I had to.
You know what else you should do?
Add more to your backlog.
Like, I know it's
like
good.
As you're in the middle of telling your story about like, yeah, I thought it was really good and you should watch this, but I realized it was so long.
But anyway,
I didn't even get the Kingpin on the rewatch. Basically, I was like, oh god, it's just kind of, we're really setting this up, aren't we? But I would like to watch the Penguin, and I just what am I doing?
Everything.
It's tough. It's really difficult. It's like, you know, when do you find the time? And I think we've talked about time.
Yeah,
you know,
on us three, I think.
Before. How do you find the time to do some of these things? And yeah, man, you got to decide that that's what you want to do, I guess. Same sort of thing as before. Just do it.
Just send it.
Just send it.
Just send it. Just full send. Go. Just well, what do you think? Oh yeah, just raw dog reality. Just do it.
Raw dog reality.
I just forgotten about just raw dog reality.
Yeah, that's gonna be our first merch shirt. Raw dog reality.
Raw dog reality.
And there's like 3 like dogs on there.
Yes, that's even better. That way the dogs are on there. So you understand what we mean when we say raw dog reality.
Has the Big Dog shirt brand gone like public yet? Like, can we just take that public?
Do it right now.
What's the word? Like, what just happened with Popeye?
Public domain.
Public domain.
He is public domain now.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my Steam, and Halo Infinite's right there.
What am I going to say? Like, let's raw Popeye reality? No, that doesn't even make
We
sense.
don't want to raw Popeye. No.
No.
He's a nice guy.
Is he?
But
I actually don't know if he's a nice guy. I haven't watched Popeye in the longest time. Why do I feel like he was a dick, though? I feel like Popeye was a jerk.
Popeye was not really a jerk. No, Popeye. No. Well, I mean, I guess at times he was a 1930s, 1940s sailor, so he was a little misogynistic. And, he expected to come home and have dinner from olive oil and all that kind of stuff.
We should put Popeye in Silent Hill.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, you want to see that, just go watch the Popeye movie with Robin Williams, which is quite horrific.
Why did you say hold on? No, now I'm just imagining like Robin Williams Popeye in Silent Hill 2.
I'm still wondering where Popeye and Silent Hill came from.
I mean, it makes perfect sense to me. Yeah. So, yeah, just go watch Popeye with Robin Williams, and you get to experience Popeye and Silent Hill because that film is horrific.
The Popeye one is another one of my backlog guilts, because I met someone who acted in that movie at some point. He played the I'll Pay You Tuesday for a Burger Today guy. He was Paul Dooley. Gotcha. And I was like, oh man, I met him. It's so cool. I should watch the movie and actually see what he did. That was in like 11th grade. I'm 30 now.
In 11th grade. Wow.
I hope I hope out of every episode that he watched, he's like, I wonder what he's up to nowadays. And he's just
I just need a way to defeat my backlog. Let's see what's going on with this video. As a 91-year-old man.
I know that kid. I made a difference in someone's life.
That was one of 50 kids I met
used to watch his film.
One of those 50 kids.
I couldn't find the time in 30 years to watch his movie.
Just get like a random email one day. It's just like, for Chris, did you watch the movie yet?
For Chris. Oh, it can happen. Sometimes you put yourself out there and someone involved will email you and say, I watched your video. I had the guy who designed Prop the Rapper email me after that video I put up. It was like, hey, man, all that shit you said about Major Minor's Majestic March. Yeah, that's all. I went, okay, cool. That's weird.
Did you leave him on red?
I think I left him on red. I got too anxious and didn't know what to say. So I never replied.
He reached out to you. He was out.
Someone whose art I think is immensely good and valuable.
This started with the Popeye actor. This is a trauma response now at this point.
I have a lot of problems, Sean. Do you want to hear about them?
No.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm sorry. Now I feel bad. You can tell me them later, but not right now because
I'm a human first and a friend second. I get it.
I don't. God.
Call back to, of course, our Twitch pre-show, which you could have been watching if you'd been subscribed to wherever that's available.
On our Twitch.
And also
on our Twitch and also on our Patreon. I believe.
Why'd you bring that back? Yes,
if you're a YouTube member or what's our third one? Twitch subscriber.
Twitch. Yeah, the one we're on.
You get into our Discord and the CRUBCAST channels where we post all our videos for anyone who is subscribed to watch. If you want to just join and hang out, regardless, it is crub.org/join. We have a Patreon. We won't belabor it too much. I'm still emotionally processing a lot. I'm sure there's other things like that if I really dug into it. Have you guys ever been embarrassed by...
I've never felt anything in my entire life.
What's that
Have
like?
we ever been embarrassed by what exactly?
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Go.
Have you just ever been in a situation like that where it's like, oh man, I had contact with someone I look up to or someone who's accomplished great things, but I didn't really have any familiarity with them. And you're like, I should do something about that. And then you just never did.
I could tell you a sad-ish story, I suppose. There's an actor whose name is Bruce Davison. You've seen him. He is the senator in the X-Men film that turns into goo and turns into water when he hits the...
Yep.
Starts to melt.
I remember this.
He's
story.
in a lot of films. He's in everything, right? He's been in 500 films. And I was at a hotel and I walked into one of the random side rooms there, and Bruce Davison was sitting there. And I was like, oh, hey, you're that guy. Because nobody knows his name. Yeah. I only know his name now because I met him and then didn't know his name. And I was like, you're that guy, man. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, you're in X-Men. you're in a lot of films, man. Oh, what is it though?
Gosh.
And it was like, oh God, you were the character in that X-Men, weren't you? And he was like, yeah. It was very awkward moment for this poor guy.
What are you? You're in this movie that I watched.
What's your name again? It was like Bruce Davidson. I was like, yeah. I mean, and it was clear that he could have lied to me. He could have told me a different name. And I wouldn't have known because I didn't know his name in the first place.
You know that feeling of discomfort you get where you can physically feel your heart just hardening and prickling out, and it just feels uncomfortable, and you like shudder.
Yeah,
I'm getting that secondhand right now from that.
That was pretty bad.
It was very bad, but it was also like I can't just walk away from you, right? I'm not that type of person. But also like I can't just be like I'm sorry and walk away like that.
I'm also imagining when you said like he's sitting, I'm imagining like he's sitting there and you're just like standing over top of him essentially. And just
I was standing in front of him. He was like standing up.
I thought he was like sitting, so like he's like looking up at you, like, hey.
Yeah, I'm that guy.
I was looking up.
Yeah, and he can't go anywhere because he's like sitting. Is he gonna get up and leave? Like
I was not looming over Bruce Davidson, but he was sitting there, and we were talking. I ended up taking a photo,
like with him or just of him.
I don't take photos.
So you just took a photo of him? You're like, hey, can I get a picture of you, dude?
Oh yeah, man. I guess that's cool. Just the emptiness in his eyes looking past the camera.
I will share this photo with you guys.
That
just
is the
you,
worst.
It is my partner at the time, and I was like, "Here, get in a photo with them. It's cool."
That is the most awkward thing to say to somebody. Like, not even like, "Can I get a photo with you?" It's like, "Can I get a picture of you?" Just of you.
Yeah.
Can I get a picture of you? Yeah, sure. No, just of you.
I took a photo of him with somebody who didn't know who he was.
God, I feel better about my story now. I feel better. I feel less alone in this world.
Please tell me you still have this photo.
Yeah, I'll find it. I'll share it with you guys specifically. It's not to go public, and I'm sorry to the public, of course, but it does have identifying information in it.
Just Google Bruce Davison, find a photo where he looks kind of despondent, and you can probably fill in the rest.
He looked so sad, and I felt sad, right? I felt really sad because it was like,
you did this. You did this. It's not even like it just randomly. Like you did it, and then you just kept. You're like, well, I'm already here.
Yeah. What am I gonna do? I can't just walk away from.
It's like that. It's like that. Have you ever seen that one comic where the dude's like his intrusive thoughts? Like, what if I just punched her right now while she's talking to me? He punches her. He's like, well, all right. What if I just got naked now? We're already in too deep. That's kind of what you did. You're just like, I don't know what you're up to, Bruce Dickinson, but you were an X-Men. Yeah. So
I really did not remember anything about this man.
Did you ask for a picture? Or did you take one?
No. I was like, can I take a photo? And he was like, yeah. And then I was like, here, babe, go stand next to me.
Oh. That is the worst way you could have done that. If someone had said that to me, I would have just like.
I love this story though, because once in a while he'll be at home, like just out of the shower.
He thinks about it.
Yeah, he'll be like cooking something. He'll be like, "Oh, I got 20 minutes till that's done," and he just sits alone with himself for a second, first time in a while, and he's like, "That was really weird."
Yeah, he's just staring at the microwave as it like heats. Just Hot Pocket like goes off, and just his eyes.
Why didn't he get a picture with me?
I had no interest. I didn't want a photo with him. That's the thing. I just, it's like I didn't know what else to do.
He knew my name, but didn't want a picture.
I didn't know his name. That was the problem. I had no idea about the name at first.
I've seen you in movies. I just don't know what one. But anyway, hey, go take a picture.
It was really that. Like legitimately, that's what it was.
Like that is just full on. I feel bad for him.
Closest I got is I shared a plane with beloved U.S. Senator Joe Manchin once, and the entire time I was looking across the aisle, and I was like, "Oh, yes, that's my senator. That's Joe Manchin." This was before he was in the headlines nationally a lot more as of late. Let's put it that way. And I just kept looking at him. I was like, "Oh, should I ask for a picture? Like, he's technically important. And then he ordered a mist twist, and that convinced me to not speak to him.
A mist twist?
You know mist twist.
No, what's a mist twist? Is it like a...
It was another failed attempt to market Sierra Mist, so they called it Mist Twist.
I was going to say, it sounds like a alcoholic Sierra Mist. Like, you know how they have the twisted tea? And they're just like, what if we put twisted tea and Sierra Mist together? Someone do not make that. I will stab you.
That actually sounds terrible.
I actually kind of want to do that.
I know you
I'll do
do.
that CRUBCAST. I'll do that CRUBCAST. My stomach hurts now.
Just from the thought?
Yeah. But anyway, my celebrity stuff. I mean, like I drank my first drink at a bar with Vinnie Paul, the drummer of Pantera, and it was when I was 20.
Oh. Were you like together, or was he just like across the room?
So Lamb of God and Hell Yeah came to town, and my buddy was like, oh, he always goes to bars. We're going to try to find him, because he was like really into Pantera back in the day. And so we went to this one bar, and he was just sitting there, cowboy hat and all, just sitting there at the bar by himself, taking a shot. And like my buddy goes over, he's like, hey, you know, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, don't want to interrupt, but I just was here. I'm a big fan. He's like, thanks. You want a shot? Yeah.
Okay.
Lady just looked at us. She's like, yeah, what do you want? I was like, Jack. All right. Got us a Jack, sat down. He's like, hey, later on. Meet me later. I was like, oh, okay. Dude was out of his mind. And then I met most of Lamb of God. Oh yeah, he gave me a drumstick.
This is nowhere near as awkward. Where's the awkwardness?
There's no awkwardness.
You need to top me.
You know what?
I'm also just like, well, did you go meet him, or did you just never see him again?
Yeah. No, and then I saw Lamb of God later, and I saw him at this place called the Tilted Kilt, which is just like a Hooters, but like Irish. Like people.
Tilted Kilt is the most awkward feeling place in the world.
Oh no, it's not, because I went in there. I'll never forget this coolest thing.
Oh no, it's not. He says.
Yeah, can you think? So I went in there because it was like, oh hey, you know, Lamb of God's in there. So I go in there. The moment I go in, like security locks the door, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. Lamb of God rented the place out right then and there. So there's
trapped everyone inside.
So there's Randy Blythe, the two brothers, no Chris Adler. I'm so upset about that. I've never met Chris Adler. And like I go up and I'm like, this is like Schoolboy, like, oh my God, this is the band that I've always been interested in. And I go up to them and I'm like, hey, this is the only awkward thing. I go, hey, does that to me.
He does what to you?
He just,
for audio listeners.
Oh yeah,
puts
he points
his finger out.
Yeah, he puts his finger out to me as I say, hey, he's like, one moment. And then he counts down 3, 2, 1. And then Ghost Walking starts playing on the speakers, and which is a song by Lamb of God, if you don't know that. But it starts playing, and he's like, all right, you can talk. What's up? And I was like, okay.
All right, you can talk.
I had to wait until I couldn't fully process anything you said. Please continue.
And then I was like, oh yeah, it's a big fan, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I got to drink with them. And yeah, that was pretty much the most awkward thing. I was told to give one of them a moment, and that was it. That was the most awkward thing.
You had a pretty good time, is what I'm hearing. Very awkward.
I actually have a whole entire drum head signed by all Lamb of God from 2015, I think 2015 and 2016.
Yeah, this is nowhere near. You have not even come close to Bruce Davidson's feelings.
No. I've also met the guy from Too Many Cooks, the guy who kills everybody.
The guy from Too Many Cooks.
Yeah, the guy who stabs everybody. He's actually from around where I know people. I realized, I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh my goodness, Sean,
trying not to dox yourself. Impossible.
I'm gonna timestamp this just in case.
Actually, I don't know.
It feels like we flew a little too close to the sun, and acknowledging that we flew too close to the sun. So just in case. All right.
Actually, I don't even hold on. Actually, does he live by me anymore?
I
shouldn't even say anymore. I'm just shutting up. Anyway, moving on.
He lives in a part of the country that I live in that I just happen to know people in every street.
This is my Bruce Dickinson moment.
Dickinson?
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
I didn't either, but somehow I got made fun of for not remembering the name.
Well, yeah, you took a picture of him. Oh my god!
I did take a picture.
I just saw the. Oh my god!
Oh, it's posted. Okay, live react.
Look at that photo. Look at that. I could see the like. Okay.
I mean, at least the smile is kind of warm.
Those eyes are not though. Those eyes are like, all right, buddy. Where are we going? What are we doing with this?
Where are we going? He just invites himself.
He definitely felt. It was one of those moments, and it's one of the few moments in my life where I was like, "Oh, this is what it feels like to be a prostitute. I get it.
What?
I get it.
How?
You know, like I get. Not like a physical like you know, to be that kind of, you know, sell your soul, whatever. Because he stood there and took the photo, you know, and I felt like it changed my perspective on celebrity quite a bit.
But not him.
Well, I mean, no, I like him. He's great.
You know,
if I ever met him again, I'd be like, you know, I met you at a hotel once. It was very awkward.
I should tweet him. Speaking of tweets, I actually should delete the last tweet I did.
Oh, what's the last tweet you did, Sean?
Yeah, let's hear about it. Show it on screen if you can, so that it's there forever.
It says Charles Martinet should be in Hoonie Pop 3, and then I tag both Charles Martinet and the Hoonie Pop dev.
Why would you delete that?
You're right. I'm not.
Why would you delete such a great idea from us, your friends?
From us, your friends.
From
we are both humans and your friends.
Yeah, Sean, you better look off camera and think about that. Over where your copy of Kingdom Hearts 3 is.
It's back there!
Hypothetically, sure.
What do you mean hypothetically? It's right pissing there!
I don't know, man. Earlier you pointed off to the right where you were looking, so I just thought you were looking
over
at
here,
it,
but
like
it's actually behind me now. And actually, if I go
I
find
didn't say that
here, I'm
Kingdom
going to
Hearts 3
find
was
it
over
for
there.
everybody.
I said
Look, it's right there. There it is.
It's a Kingdom Hearts game. There's more than one Kingdom Hearts.
Sure.
Thank you to the dozens of people who tune in as we just bully a man into insanity gradually.
Yeah, this has been a fun one.
Has it?
I thought so up
I had a
until
good
that
time.
very moment that you asked that.
Okay, good. I like ruining things. Good for everybody.
You know, we started with the Patreon question of the week today.
Oh, we didn't even answer it, did we?
No, we did. It was
What do you do
technically
about
what the episode was
backlogs?
about.
Oh, I didn't even say what I do. I play them. There you go. The end.
What do you do about backlog? Oh, I have one. I play every game.
I just simply
play
play
it.
the games. What's the problem?
The math is there.
I didn't know it was a big deal. It's the correct answer, but
God.
And yet he still never played Kingdom Hearts. I don't understand it. I just don't get it.
put your
Ow, that one
headphones
hurt.
back on, Sean. Don't hit yourself in the head. You goofball.
He's
What?
over here just smacking himself.
What I was going to say was maybe we'll just do something different and end on a Sean Trion question of the week. Sean, what's something you've always wanted to ask me and him? Since both of our usernames start with M, we're categorized together now.
It's true.
If you could give the other one a picture
Of someone we know with Bruce Dickinson.
someone you know, Bruce Dickinson, yeah, who would it be?
Well, you know, conveniently enough.
You get to pick the person. He doesn't. He doesn't get to pick.
Wait. So we're picking who we'd get a picture of with Bruce Dickinson to give to the
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
How do I approach this? Like, who would he find funniest, most off-putting? Because I don't think I can say a lot of these. He would find them funny, but I can't say them on there.
Gosh, who would I?
You know, I
Actually-
think I would take a photo of no, I can't say that either. Boy, you're right.
That's the
This
problem.
is
It's just like
actually
I know
really
I could make
difficult.
him laugh really hard with quite a few, but I can't say any of them. I would say Joe Manchin. Why not? I already
Joe
invoked his name.
Manchin.
Joe Manchin,
You know,
that's a
and
good
I
one.
would also do Joe Manchin because that would be very funny. If I
put
gave
Charles
Chris
Martinet.
a photo of Joe Manchin and Bruce Davison standing
You know,
together.
that's
Like,
actually
wow,
pretty good.
two old men I don't know anything about. Cool.
Wow, and he's drinking a Sierra Twist somehow. They don't even make those anymore.
God.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
You know?
I feel like Sean needed to have a tumbler of whiskey as he said that, you know?
I didn't see you come in 43 minutes into our show.
Hey, welcome to our show. Nice to see you there. Didn't see you there before.
I didn't know my camera was
First
there.
time chat from Transferry in the chat.
It has a cat kissing emoji, which means this is either spam or someone waited until now to earnestly respond to something we said, which was thanks for coming.
Gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Thanks, Taco. I know them. Hi.
Oh, okay. Because we did have one the other week where someone just came in and was a spam bot, and it was very suspicious like that. So I was like, here we go.
Here we go.
Sean?
Yeah? Oh, you get to ask me a question. It's only fair.
Okay, my question is, if you were going to ask a different question, what would that question be?
See, you told me to ask a different question? Okay. If you could finish one game on your backlog, which would it be?
Ooh, relevant.
Super relevant. Good job.
Yeah. I was like, it's time to lock in.
Yeah, it's about time to lock in. I would say
after an hour.
The one game from last year that I kept going back to, apparently for a total of 8 hours, so not even that much, but Penny's Big Breakaway from the Sonic Mania people is the most like game I should like on paper, but every time I go back to play it, you
just don't.
There's just like a piece of the puzzle. I was talking about this with Kevin because he picked it up and was having the same kind of thought. It's like there's just a central piece of the puzzle missing, and you look at it and you're like, you almost see the whole picture there, but it doesn't quite come together.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't connect.
I like the way it looks and sounds. I mostly like the way it feels. Just it just never really comes together for me. So if I could make myself actually finish that game, that would be kind of nice. Because as it is, every 2 months I just go back to it and I'm like, you know, it's one of those.
That's fair. What about you, Moriarty?
I super feel that too. Like I understand.
Yeah.
Boy, man, I have some games, and the reason that I end up quitting them is always the same sort of type of thing, where it's, for example, I've been playing Veilguard, right, which is not good, and you should not pick it up.
Dragon Age 4, as it were.
It is very bad, but it is so buggy that I can't get through certain parts of the game without it just hard crashing. And I think, I'll go do that because, like, I've invested some time, right? Like, I might as well. I've got 22 hours in the game. I want to just finish it up. I want to know, like, you know, the ending and all that. Every time I do, I put in an hour, game crashes, I lose the hour, and then I'm just like, and they're never going to update this game. It's never going to happen because, like, 3 people bought it. I didn't even buy it. I'm playing it from my Steam family library, right? Like, nobody bought this game. And I'm never going to get to finish it because, you know, it's broken. And so, like, I would love to finish that. I would love to finish the game. There's a lot of things like that. I want to finish Cult of the Lamb. I'm never going to finish Cult of the Lamb. It's a fun game, but, like, I got to that point where it's like, okay, so now it's just about the grind.
Yeah.
And I just don't care about that enough, you know?
Right.
I don't know. There's a lot of games like that. That's what ends up being for me, where it's like, I get to this point where, all right, I'm done for today, and then I don't feel enough of a pull to come back immediately the next day, and then it sits there, and then I install something else, right? And then you know, Phasmophobia shows up, or Counter-Strike shows up, or Fortnite shows up, and then now it's 10 games in the past, and I don't even remember what's happening anymore.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm curious about Dragon Age. I've only played the first, so I don't even know if this is a thing in the series. Does it continue like a storyline from the other games?
So for whatever reason, yes. So Veilguard decided to do the wackiest, craziest shit ever. Okay. So Dragon Age 1 Origins has its story, and then Dragon Age 2 takes place on a different continent sometime after that. And it's kind of vague what could have been there in the original Dragon Age, right? So it's like, whatever you did in the story could be what it happened. And then Dragon Age 3 takes place, again, in a whole different place. And like, you know, but the Dragon Age 2 story is much more linear, so they just canonized it and said, here's exactly what happened.
Okay.
And then Dragon Age Veilguard is based as a continuation of Dragon Age Inquisition's least played DLC. that came out like 2 years after the game came out, and nobody played it.
That's inspired, I think. I did not know that.
And it's like a direct continuation, too. It is, you need to have played this or things just don't make sense. It's such a bad decision.
What?
Yeah.
I had idle thoughts of like, oh man, I really liked Origins, maybe like I would jump in on a new one if it went cheap or something, right? But I don't want to do homework if it's like important stuff, Like,
they
I'd rather
try
just hop
as
in.
best as they can to just like move through it, but you are missing hours of content that you need to like understand why this is happening in the first place. Unless you just want to do, the Marvel thing and just be like, yeah, okay, it's just happening. Let's go with it. Fucking go. This is what it is.
That feels like the way I would probably have to go for it because I don't understand. Especially since Inquisition, I just looked up, came out 10 years ago.
Yes. Yeah. Again, it is a direct continuation of DLC that was mostly unplayed for that 10-year-old game.
Okay. Well, any curiosity I had about that game is off the table now, so that helps my backlog. That's great.
Yes. Good. Also, it is quite bad. Like, it is just quite a bad game. It is very, very unenjoyable. I am just stuck.
Okay. Well, now I know your games.
Yeah. what about you, Sean?
Baldur's
Mr.
Gate
I
3.
played. Oh.
That's a good choice. Baldur's Gate's a great game. What a great game to play. And I
I've played
understand getting
70
stuck,
hours.
especially if you're like after Act 1, right? I think Act 1 is what kills most people, where you get past Act 1 and you're like, oh, I just did 30 hours and this is just Act 1. Act 2 just started? Oh my God.
The best part is there's like an Act 1.5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm in that.
Gotcha.
I have played for 70 hours. Granted, I've done, I'm doing my own playthrough, and I was doing a playthrough with like a friend, and like me and them is just pure chaos. And then
you're
the
doing
other
a
one,
co-op too? That's even worse.
yeah.
You were never going to finish this game.
But here's the problem, though. Again, it is worse because we ended up like going off on a different thing. They're like, "Oh, did you find these ogre shit?" I'm like, "What the piss you mean ogres? I never met any of these people. What are you talking about?" And now I have to go back into my game and do that whole thing, and then like try to go.
Very difficult, especially like
Good game.
trying to get people together. You know what I mean? Much worse. I love Baldur's Gate, but I super understand somebody going through Act 1 and then just being like, okay,
It's
all
daunting,
right,
yeah.
so this is Act 2. Oh my God, it's a whole new map. Oh my God.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Oh my God. Like, I get that. I understand that.
Yeah.
It's a huge game. I think Baldur's Gate could realistically have been 2 games, and nobody would have complained at all.
No,
Not a
but
single
also-
person.
We should play with what was his name, Bryan Cranston or whatever, the guy. You took
Sure,
that
we'll just
photo
call
of.
him up. Yeah.
Yeah, whoever. I really keep forgetting his name.
Walter
Oh,
White.
Bruce Davison.
Bruce Davison.
Bryan Cranston.
I couldn't think of his name, and then I was like, "It's not Bruce Dickinson." I made that joke twice.
Yeah, we should just call up Bryan Cranston and be like, "Hey, you want to play some Baldur's Gate co-op with us?"
What's his phone number?
He's like, I have 200 hours to spend. Why not? Random stranger. Well, your CRUBCAST popped up on my YouTube. Paul Dooley sent it to me. My 96-year-old friend.
I love the idea of like making him buy the game to play with us.
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
I mean-
he's a millionaire. I'm not buying it for him.
yeah.
He's got
You know,
meth.
right.
Like we don't have to buy it. He should buy it for us.
Ooh,
Yeah, extra copies actually. I already have it. But
extra copy for a backlog.
It was scary
The backlog.
because I went to Sean's profile just to look at Baldur's Gate. 86 hours played, 14
Yeah.
out of 54 achievements, and I went, oh,
It's
I did not
huge.
realize
It's such a
it was that
massive game.
much.
Yeah,
Never gonna play that. Not even gonna think
didn't
about
know
It
it.
is a
was
massive,
84.
massive game. I would not be surprised if Completionist is like 500 plus hours in that.
I'll take a look. That's curious enough. Ball. All right. I've misspelled it 3 different ways. Don't worry. We're getting there. This is good audio. 168 hours?
For Completionist? Wow. That's less than I expected.
is that more or less than Persona 5?
Less.
No, it's more.
Unless you're the completionist and have to play it 8 times for some reason, and then
We
it's
don't
like
talk
800
about that
hours.
video. That video upsets me so much.
No, that's fine. Don't worry about it.
That is my Roman Empire.
So that is who I would make him get a picture of Bruce Dickinson with. Is the completionist.
Gerard the completionist.
The completionist.
Well, he's playing Persona 5.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay. I think we can call this a little short episode and wrap this one up, boys. What do you think?
A short episode? It feels like we've talked to...
Oh my god, leisure 398 hours for
What?
completionist. That's the leisure.
That's not a...
How long to beat leisure completionist 398 hours.
How does 210 hours get added from playing leisurely?
I'm telling you, man, this game's big. This
It is.
game's
It also-
really, really big. I'm not even remotely surprised
Yeah.
that somebody could spend 200 extra hours in the game. It's big.
Yeah, and then you probably get like soft locked out of certain things depending on what you do, so you have to go through again. And
Yeah, if you're just doing everything, like, no. You can become the god of a bunch of fish people. This is
can.
not part of the plot in any way, but you can do it.
Oh, okay.
It has nothing to do with any plot. It has nothing to do with any plot, Chris. Like, nothing.
Yeah,
It's just there as well.
it's D&D. It's literally just D&D.
More and more, I'm glad I haven't looked at this game. I feel like I just understood that it would be my life, and I can't do that to myself right now.
God, Balatro and Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, Baldur is already I've already had to kind of put that down for a bit. It was getting bad. I think I had a 6 a.m. night with Baldur and was like, all right, I gotta pull
Yeah,
back.
that was me yesterday.
Yeah.
I started Balatro for the first time. And for those of you who weren't here in the beginning, I started at 10:20, and I was like, you know what? I'll just do a tutorial, do a run. That's it. I went to bed at like 3:30.
Yeah.
It's an annoying game to hear about too if you haven't played it, because you just hear people go like, "Oh man, Baldur," and it's like, "All right, what are you talking about?" But then you play it, and you go, "Oh."
It's even one of those things where just looking at it isn't exciting, right? You don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, just watching a video of it or whatever, you're just like, yeah, okay, what? It's poker. I don't get it.
And then you do it, and you're like, oh. It's that, what's his name?
Bruce Dickinson.
Danny DeVito, where it's like, I get it now.
I get it now.
From
Yeah.
Always Sunny. Great
All right.
episode, by the way.
I'm ending this now. We're
Bye,
in
everybody.
Minnesota. Goodbye. Everyone go play Baldur when this comes out in July. It'll be relevant.
Go tell Bruce Dickinson hi. Or,
Yeah, if you see
Bryce.
Bruce Davidson, be like, "Hey
Bryce
man, can I get a
Morse.
photo of you?"
Can I get a photo of you? Yeah, and just be like, hey, you're that guy. You're that guy.
I should delete that tweet I made earlier.
No, you keep it. I'm going to retweet it. All right, bye everybody.